but I have mining experience. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today I just want to talk about something that we get asked and have to answer a lot, is people that have got previous mining experience that are trying to get jobs. So this is often people that have spent some time in oil and gas or shutdown work or in utility work or whatever you've been doing on site. Now, if you're trying to make the jump over into a production mining job, like a hard rock underground mining job, so if you type underground into Seek, you'll see all the hard rock mining jobs come up, and it's the truck, the nipper, and the offsider jobs that are all entry level. But if you're trying to jump into one of those jobs and you've got a mining background already, then there's a few things that you need to avoid doing to make the transition smoother. So first off is when you start your resume with, I have got 3 or 5 years mining experience. Now that's all well and good if you're sending it into the area that you've actually got your experience in. But if you're sending it into, say, a hard rock underground mining job, then the foreman or the project manager reading that resume, as soon as they read, oh, the person's got 3 to 5 years mining experience or 2 years mining experience, however long, they're going to be thinking for 2 years, hopefully that person's got some experience on service crew that I'm going to be able to use, maybe even a little bit of charge up. If it's 5 years experience that they say, then they're going to be thinking, oh yeah, hopefully I'm getting a bogger operator or somebody that knows how to use the long hole, or maybe even a little bit of jumbo operating experience. What they're not expecting is somebody that's got 5 years shutdown work. As soon as they read on and it turns out you don't actually have mining experience in the area that they're actually looking for, what do you reckon happens to your resume? Do you reckon it's rationally put to one side and they look at it as a new starter, or do you reckon they just throw it in the bin? Because I've been there and seen it happen lots before, and I can tell you where it ends up. It ends up in the bin because it just pisses people off. Because when you start off saying that I've got 5 years mining experience and you're applying for a mining job, a hard rock mining job, the person at the other end that's actually doing the hiring and can say, yes, I'm hiring that person, like the foreman or the project manager, they get really shitty when you don't actually have any practical mining experience that they can use. So, what do you need to do if you do have some mining experience but not the practical mining experience that the employer wants? Well, you can tackle it in a couple of different ways. The first thing that I would recommend that you do is get your mining knowledge up to speed and get the experience that the employer wants, the mining knowledge that the employer wants. You can do this with the Sponsors DIY Underground Training Package. It's only $495, and once you do that, you can go over and we can have a look at your mining resumes before and after. And these are some videos that I've done on resumes, and these are resumes for Joe Boggs before and after. Now, this is what your current resume probably looks like if you've got a background in shutdown or construction, that sort of thing. So a whole bunch of tickets that the hard rock underground employers can't use, and going in that direction, and it's just confusing, and you've got to go all over the place to read it and all that sort of stuff. Whereas if we have a look at the next one, which is the Joe Boggs, it's got a clear objective that states that you want to be a nipper, an underground truck driver, a member of service crew, that they've used Underground Training's Introduction to Underground Mining program to learn what they need to know. It lists what you've learnt, and these are just some of the other qualifications. This is actually a real resume. It's all been changed if you have a look at it. Dead People Services Centre, the actual the names of the companies have all been changed, but it's actually a real person's resume that we transformed. And when he went from this to this, it only took him a couple of weeks to get a job. And the reason is that you're giving them what they want. Now, with your experience on the mine site, instead of framing it from a point of view that you've got 5 years mining experience, tell them that you've got 5 years shutdown experience. Tell them the exact experience that you got. Don't give them a bunch of tickets that they can't use. Tell them what machine that you were using, whether it was a loader or, a truck or whatever you were using, what physical job that you were doing with that truck and how long you did it for, or what physical job you were doing with that equipment and how long you did it for. That's what they're interested in, and that's what gives them the transferable skills. But the other thing, and you can't, we've had a lot of people that just refuse to have a look at doing the training because they think that their current mining experience should get them across the line. And then we get a few people that come through that see the light and understand that if you can marry up your current mine site experience with actually knowing what the employer wants out of the new job, so you've trained yourself up, then most people are on a winner. But it's surprisingly few amount of people that will actually go through and do that. Most people, they feel that they've got the 2 to 5 years mine site experience, so they're owed a job in an underground mine, even though there's no difference between you and somebody that's got no mining experience if you're going in green as a nipper. And that's the reality of the situation, unfortunately, is that when you approach the employers from a position where you're telling them that you've got 2 years mining experience or 5 years mining experience, and you don't elaborate specifically on what that experience is right at the top, it allows them to believe that the experience is in the area that they want, and when it's not, you get a typical human reaction. And, it is what it is. And that's why so many people struggle to make that jump across. So if you are struggling to make that jump across at the moment, and you are one of these people that keep on saying, but I've got mining experience, then my suggestion is to spend the $495, educate yourself, redo your resume like we tell you to do in the training, and then, start applying. You'll end up getting a start because it's just a matter of the way that you approach the employers. If you approach them giving them what they want, then it's a lot easier than if you approach them from a hard-headed view of, saying that I've got a bunch of mining tickets and I did a job on a mine site for 5 years, so I should be able to get a job with you guys. When you take that tone and that direct action with them, it's just not going to produce a job. You need to understand what they want and give it to them. So I hope that information helps, and if you've got any more questions about getting into the mining industry, please let me know, and if you could like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.